Wrzburg is a city in the traditional region of Franconia in the north of the German state of Bavaria. At the next down tier of local government, it is the administrative seat of Lower Franconia. It spans the banks of the Main. Wrzburg is about 120 kilometers from Frankfurt am Main to west and Nuremberg to east. The city has around 130,000 residents. The regional dialect is East Franconian. The city is outside of the Landkreis Wrzburg but has its administrative center, a Bronze Age refuge castle, the Celtic Sagodunum, and later a Roman fort, stood on the hill known as the Leistenberg, the site of the present fortress Marienburg. The former Celtic territory was settled by the Alemanni in the 4th or 5th century, and by the Franks in the 6th to 7th. Wrzburg was the seat of a Merovingian duke from about 650. It was Christianized in 686 by Irish missionaries Kilian, Colonard and Totnan. The city is mentioned in a donation by Duke Hedon II to Bishop Willebrod, dated 1 May 704, in Castellum Wirteburg. The Ravenna cosmography lists the city as Ubertsees at about the same time. The name is presumably of Celtic origin, but based on a folk etymological connection to the German word Wurzer, herb, spice. The name was Latinized as Herbopolis in the medieval period. Beginning in 1237, the city seal depicted the cathedral and a portrait of Saint Kilian, with the inscription Sigillvmcivitatishherbipolensis. It shows a banner on a tilted lance, formerly in a blue field, with the banner quarterly argent and gules, later orange gules. This coat of arms replaced the older seal of the city, showing Saint Kilian. From 1570, the first diocese was founded by Saint Boniface in 742 when he appointed the first bishop of Wrzburg, Saint Berkha. The bishops eventually created a secular fiefdom, which extended in the 12th century to eastern Franconia. The city was the site of several imperial diets, including the one of 1180, at which Henry the Lion, Duke of Saxony and Bavaria, was banned for 3 years from the empire and his duchy Bavaria was handed over to Otto of Wittelsbach. Massacres of Jews took place in 1147 and 1298. The first church on the site of the present Wrzburg Cathedral was built as early as 788 and consecrated that same year by Charlemagne. The current building was constructed from 1040 to 1225 in Romanesque style. The University of Wrzburg was founded in 1402 and refounded in 1582. The citizens of the city revolted several times against the prince-bishop. In 1397, King Wenceslaus IV of Bohemia had visited the city and promised its people the status of a free imperial city. However, the German ruling princes forced him to withdraw these promises. In 1400, the citizenry was decisively defeated by the troops of the bishop in the Battle of Bergdam, and the city fell under his control permanently until the dissolution of the fiefdom. 41 The Wrzburg witch trials, which occurred between 1626 and 1631, are one of the largest peacetime mass trials in Wrzburg. Under Bishop Philip Adolf, an estimated number between 600 and 900 alleged witches were burnt. In 1631, Swedish King Gustav Adolf invaded the town and plundered the castle. In 1720, the foundations of the Wrzburg residence were laid. In 1796, the Battle of Wrzburg between Habsburg Austria and the First French Republic took place. The city passed to the Electorate of Bavaria in 1803. But 2 years later, in the course of the Napoleonic Wars, it became the seat of the Electorate of Wrzburg, the later Grand Duchy of Wrzburg. In 1814, the town became part of the Kingdom of Bavaria and a new bishopric was created 7 years later, as the former one had been secularized in 1803. In 1817, Friedrich Koenig and Andreas Bauer founded Chanel-Pressen Fabrik Koenig and Bauer. The Hep riots from August to October 1819 were pogroms against Ashkenazi Jews, beginning in the Kingdom of Bavaria. During the period of Jewish emancipation in the German Confederation, the anti-Semitic communal violence began on August 2. 1819 in Wrzburg and soon reached the outer regions of the German Confederation. Many Jews were killed and much Jewish property was destroyed. In 1848 Catholic bishops held the Wrzburg Bishops' Conference, a forerunner of later German and Austrian conferences. By distinction, the Wrzburg Conference is a name given to the meeting of representatives of the smaller German states in 1859 to devise some means of mutual support. The conference, however, had no result. Wrzburg was bombarded and taken by the Prussians in 1866, in which year it ceased to be a fortress. In the early 1930s, around 2,000 Jews had lived in Wrzburg, which was also a rabbinic center. During the Kristallnacht, in 1938, many Jewish houses and shops were raided, looted or destroyed. The contents of 2 synagogues were stolen or destroyed. Many Jews were imprisoned and tortured by the Gestapo. Between November 1941 and June 1943, Jews from the city were sent to the Nazi concentration